Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. As promised, we have the video of Cassie Randolph speaking out for the first time about her tumultuous breakup with ex Colton Underwood, finding out, like everybody else, that he came out of the closet not knowing he was gay. They were, obviously, she was the winner on his season. And then afterwards, I'm going to get into everything that went down. Trigger warning, there's obviously some domestic issues here with regards to what happened. It's a fascinating story that we've covered all year long, for over a year actually close to 2. Is this wild? We've covered this for so long. Here's Cassie at the final part 1 of Clayton Echard's season of The Bachelor. Folks were shocked that she came back into the fray. Because she has kind of just stayed away. She hasn't commented on things. She's done what everyone should do when they don't know what they want to say, which is just to not, right? She's decided she had a restraining order against Colton Underwood. So they broke up, right? Here they are at the finale. I'm going to get to what she has to say in a second, but just to catch everybody up, I'm going to make this as brief as possible. I've made so many videos. It's still one of my biggest performing videos of all time, 299,000 views. Bachelor Colton Underwood, insane messages revealed Cassie Randolph wins temporary restraining order. So he had these, he created a fake stalker, and he stalked Cassie and himself. He said, the whole town knows all you ever wanted was to be famous. Congrats, you got it, but at what cost? Super fake. And then she responded to him being like, I feel like you aren't understanding how much I don't want drama. Cassie Randolph has proved through her actions that she doesn't want drama. She has not tried to do any publicity or monetization of this horrific breakup. Of course, in the court documents, which I read right there in that video, she shared all of the text messages from both him and the fake stalker he created. She shared photos of a tracking device duct taped to underneath the trunk of her car. These things are not legal. These are not legal to do. You can't do that. Not in the state of California, at least. It's penalizable. It's penalized up to 365 days in prison. And he got off easy and then came out of the closet months later and then did a Netflix documentary. And now he's on a show on CBS. And Cassie's just lived her life. And it's kind of showed the sad truth to which a lot of people believe is that there's a lot of failing upwards for people that are in Colton's position. So he mentioned he's talked about Cassie not by name, but he's mentioned that he has done a lot of wrong, and he's entitled to try to make amends in whatever way possible, but clearly they've got no contact. She hasn't wanted to talk to him. They signed court documents saying we will not talk to each other. Colton has these bizarre stories where he said he joined Grindr in 2016. He was blackmailed into coming out of a wild Variety article, which was written by Elizabeth Kietkowski. Is that her name? Elizabeth Kowal, whatever her name is. Either way, one of those Polish names. Either way, I don't believe the article. I don't believe the sources because we know he's manipulated himself to jockey himself to play the victim. Here's the interviewer holding him accountable. And anyway, one story after another. After all of that, here is what Cassie has to say about the situation on Caitlin Bristow's Off the Vine podcast.
In the world, they can agree that the past 2 years have just absolutely flown by. But we'll get this stuff out of the way because I know it's a very sensitive topic, but I did want to obviously bring up Colton just because personally, I'm like, I don't want to take away from someone celebrating who they truly are. I don't want to take away from that. But to me, what he has done, and I think that I speak for a lot of people, that there's some trauma there that he has caused you, and now he's being celebrated and given a platform, and you just haven't really had a chance to have your voice. And I wanted to know, has that been hard for you to not speak on this? Or are you like, I'd rather not?
I haven't talked about it, so it's really hard for me to talk about it at all, or even know the right thing to say when addressing it. I just feel like so much pressure.
Yes.
I think when asked about it, that I would love to be able to be open and candid about things, but I'm just not there yet.
Totally.
And I'm sure I will one day.
Yeah.
Want to speak on it because there's just a lot there.
I love this so much. Cassie gracefully says, one day I'll want to talk about it. I don't want to go into it. And Caitlyn, with just the gentlest amount of pressure, pushes Cassie just a tiny bit through the camaraderie of the sisterhood of being on the show and gets gold.
I really wondered if he had ever expressed.
I just love this. She did it. Cassie goes, I don't want to talk. I've decided not to talk about it. And then Caitlyn goes, yeah, but I wonder. Oh, she's so good. Caitlyn is so good at what she does.
In like during a breakup or when you guys were going through all of this, that he had questioned his sexuality or knew he was gay. Because I know he called like Tia and like spoke to them. So did he ever like tell you or talk to you about it?
I found out the same way that everyone else did.
You did.
I was actually in Mexico on vacation with friends, which was great.
Nice.
Great to be away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found out, I think through Snapchat.
Wow.
On GMA.
Wow.
It was horrible.
I'm so sorry. Like it
was just like a shocking kind of feeling.
I'm sure. I can't even imagine what that felt like for you, because to think you know somebody or feel like there's a secret that put you through so much, and your family through so much. And I know what it's like to go through a public breakup. So that alone is tricky, let alone going through what you have. And then it's not like you don't see everything everywhere and get asked all these questions all the time.
Such a hard thing too, is like when everything's so in your face. Yeah. It's like, I just want to, I think that's why I took a step back for so long, just because I just didn't want everything to be so in my face.
And that's good for you. I love that you knew that you are self-aware enough to take a step back and be like, I'm not going to put myself in these situations.
It was a healthy break.
Totally. I love that for you. And like I was saying earlier about the advice you gave on AFR to Susie about not feeling pressure to go back and not feeling the pressure of giving that happy ending because that's like what it's supposed to look like. Was that how you felt when you were in that position?
I had a feeling that when I was saying that, people were going to allude to that. I mean, it's so hard. I mean, it was so long ago now that putting myself back there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like trying to think of exactly how I was feeling, and it's so hard to describe how you're feeling because every situation's so different.
Yes.
I mean, there is definitely an aspect of pressure, obviously, because you're on this huge national show.
Yeah.
And you're like, any decision I make, people are going to judge,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's kind of hard to know why I did what I did, because
you're going through I say this to everyone. I'm like, your emotions are high. You're in a like pressure cooker of the dating world. There's so much pressure everywhere.
Overwhelming.
You think you're supposed to do a certain thing because that's how the show works. And then you're like, it's
like, but do I want to?
Right.
Is this the right decision for me? Is it the right decision for him, for the show? Like, I don't know. You have to really, it would have been nice to have like a week to think about things.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't want you to, go be around the people that ground you, your family, really take that time and then come back and make a decision. Then we wouldn't have a TV show.
No, instead you're sitting there on the spot. Like, what you gonna do?
Yeah. With cameras and people convincing you. Yeah, I know. It's so hard, but I'm glad you took a step back and did what you need to do for yourself. I feel like everybody learns something through these hard times where like such pivotal moments of going on television, having everybody know who you are, having everyone like in on your stories. What have you learned about yourself in the last few years?
Ooh. Wow, that's a heavy question.
I know.
So much. I think I've really grown into myself the last few years. I mean, so much has happened. I think everyone kind of, even with like COVID, really learned a lot about themselves, being able to take a break to reflect.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot more decisive, I guess,
Great. Leave it at that. If you want to listen to the full episode, Cassie Randolph, Life and Love After the Final Rose on the Off the Vine podcast with Caitlin Bristow. Cassie Randolph is, she's a survivor. She's a thriver. She's a woman of her word, and she's got so much grace in a nightmare of a situation. She found out, like the rest of the world, she said, when she saw on Good Morning America that her ex, who had stalked and harassed her, was coming out of the closet. And she probably thought, geez, that's what this was all about. That's why you put me through hell, because you were hiding your true identity. So you can be happy for Colton while at the same time wishing that Cassie sort of would, because she got a lot of hate. When they broke up, she got a lot of hate from people. Oh, why did she lead him on? Why did she this? Why did she that? Boy, real rough audience for someone who's just trying to figure out her own love. Meanwhile, Colton Underwood shared his engagement photos today. That's right. He jumped into this relationship. And here they are. This is what our day of love looked like. And you can be happy for them too. They're adorable. They got the silver fox guy, he's 35 going on 80, the gray hair. Distinguished, right? All you can do is wish for their happiness and all that. And of course, multiple things can be going on, right? Multiple things can be going on. He's going to clearly be monetizing his life and his story, and will sort of not be addressing what went down, as they've got some sort of agreements that they've signed. And Cassie will slowly become comfortable talking about things. She's finally re-entered Bachelor the universe. I can't imagine Colton will ever enter the Bachelor universe again, which again, it has nothing to do with him coming out of the closet. It's a brave story to talk about. It's just what he did to get there and how scary that is. And hopefully has learned and all that. So let me know what you guys think. If you want extra content today, we have at least 4 hours on Patreon. If you work from home or you have a lot of free time and you want to be with a cool community, the Patreon is a private membership-only community. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. We'll be live with you guys as soon as they release the next batch of Bachelorette contestants, which was supposed to be starting to film tomorrow. We don't know when that's going to happen. We haven't gotten that information yet. But when we get it, we're going to share it with you guys, and we'll talk to y'all in a little bit. Thanks so much for sticking around. Bye, everybody.